central here. I just picked up this two-piece cabinet touch server from a really cool couple. They have a garden center, and they used to put their pots and put their plants and succulents, and they don't want this piece anymore. So at first I was going to recycle the top part and just use this as a server, but it's so pretty. I really want to change the color of this, transform it, and use it. It's really cool. It's going to be really pretty when it's done. This is the piece in its entirety, and it is two separate pieces. Usually I like to separate them and recycle the tops and just make the bottoms into a sideboard or something useful that can be multifunctional for people. But this is so pretty. I really want to retain this as a set. So I'd really love to get in the back of this cabinet here, and I got this really cool, beautiful wallpaper. I'll try to show it to you here. It's gold and so nice. So I'm going to put that in the back, attempt to put it in the back. And then when we paint this, I'm going to paint it a nice light color. So all this hardware is just going to pop and look beautiful. So let's start the transformation and get it going on. Bottom part of the cabinet. I've gone ahead and I've removed the hardware from both the bottom piece and the top piece of the cabinet, the glass parts. So the hardware is all laid out and ready to be made my favorite color, gold. And I've removed some of the drawers. I started sanding them, hand sanding them, and I realized that pieces are snapping off. The frame around the drawers has old wood glue on it, and the pieces are just so dry and brittle that they're falling off. So I've gone ahead and just kind of clamped some of the broken ones and rechecked all the pieces, because I don't want a client to get it and it starts falling apart. That would be awful. So I've just gone through, clamped them, and I'll just give you a preview, turn the camera around and just show you what I've done so far. So that's the hardware. It's set out, ready to become gold little nuggets and treasures. These are the wood pieces. The frame that I'm expressing is just, they're falling off. So some of them have been glued back together. The bottom pieces are just clamped down. So I'm going to have to wait until those dry before I proceed, and I'll just sand the rest of the piece in the interim. Okay, I need some support here in more ways than one. I have a stubborn frame here that's not, it's glued, but I want to make sure that it stays on. I've clamped all the other ones, they're dry. This one is stubborn, so I need some support. I'm pulling out the big guns here, and I'm hoping that it doesn't split, because the pressure of the nail gun may split the wood. So let's all pray here. And before I use the gun, I just make sure that the actual nails in the gun, if I can get it open here, are the proper nails. Because I don't want the nail to go through the other side, and that would be problematic. So I have the tiny, tiny little nails, and I'm just going to see if it goes through here. Wait for me. Done. Awesome. Thank you for your support. It worked. For the next little while the paint is drying on the lower part of the cabinet. I've gone and taken the back part off the top of the cabinet. So I've turned it around, took out all these lovely little staples and nails. All right, this is the new workspace for the next little bit while the paint dries on the cabinet, on the lower part of the cabinet. I've gone ahead and taken off the back of the top of the cabinet. So turned it around, took it off with all these lovely staples and nails and took them out with a plier. Then we have a lovely flat surface here. So I'm going to sand it down, give it a light sand and wipe it down. And then I'm going to try this Sure Stick adhesive for the wallpaper. I've never used it before. I think it goes on white, and then I apply the wallpaper. I just put this on the roller on the wallpaper and then lay it down. So what pointers I'm going to need is, this is a pattern that has a flower, kind of a flower medallion in the middle. So I want the middle to be the focal point in the middle of the piece, so that when you open the cabinet, it just looks matched. And this is a matchable wallpaper, so I can use one strip and then another strip and then another strip and match it up so it looks hopefully perfect. So this medallion I'm going to put in the middle and measure it, and leave a strip a couple inches at the top and then a couple inches at the bottom, so I have a little bit of leeway and can trim it off if, or just work around it until it's even and all matched and looks like one solid piece. So I'm going to go ahead and measure and cut and hope that this works and it's not as much of a nightmare as I thought wallpapering used to be or should be. Okay, I wish that I had a big curtain that I could do a proper unveiling to the piece, but I don't. So it's finished and I'm so excited. It turned out so good. So good that I might want to keep this one. I say that a lot. This was not day 3 and not day 4, but probably around day 5, and I finished this. The wallpaper turned out, it was a little bit sticky trying to deal with the glue part, I certainly would not want to attempt wallpapering a wall. It's horrendous. But this turned out amazing. Just measuring off to make sure that the flower was in the middle, and it was really quite fun to do. And putting the piece back together, it's so pretty. I just love it. So I'm just gonna go through, I'll show you close up the back part, and it's done.